Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Gridlock panel. It's on. Hello? Hello?
Yeah. We were just having some technical
tests. Oh, there we go. Hey, welcome to the Gridlock panel in the Minecraft arena. Hey, there we go. Very excited. Gridlock is an esports project that I'm working on with evil geniuses in Minecraft, and I am super excited. I'm joined on this stage with 4 incredible people who have helped make it happen. And to start, we're just going to introduce ourselves before a quick video. So I'm Krayway. You probably just watched me like 30 minutes ago beat Minecraft for the 10,000th time. I love Minecraft speedrunning. I love Minecraft esports, and I just love Minecraft in general. So I've played in a lot of events. I wanted to try and do more event stuff on my own and figure out what parts of the game I love and try and grow the esports scene as much as possible. And I have the 4 amazing people around me, along with a huge team to help make that happen. So Jake, I'm going to throw it to you to introduce yourself and what you do for Gridlock.
Hello? Oh, there we go. I am Jake. I am the project manager and lead developer for Gridlock. I have a lot of experience. Oh, thank you. That's so kind. I used to do a lot of development, and then I kind of started getting into doing a lot of project management and event organization. So Corey came to me at the end of last year and was like, I'm working with Evil Geniuses. I want to make this project. How can it happen? So my main role throughout this whole thing has basically just been to turn Corey's big idea and all of his thoughts he's come up with and visions for the project, and figuring out how do we actually make this feasible, using the knowledge I have from the the many events I've worked on in the past. How do we actually make it happen in the game? And that has not been possible without Kelton. I'm going to throw it to our lead game designer.
Hi guys, how's everyone doing today? I'm so excited to be here with you all, and of course with my awesome co-panelists. And yeah, I'm Kelton. I'm the lead game designer and level designer here for Gridlock. And I feel like I've been part of the Minecraft community for what feels like forever. And I've worked on a lot of other competitive events, Pandora's Box, Dragon Pit, some fans here, and I feel like Gridlock is such an awesome opportunity because it's just so cool to see what competitive Minecraft can really look like, and I'm really excited for the next step in Minecraft esports here.
Awesome. Hi everyone, my name's Oliver. I am the broadcast lead for Gridlock. So some of you might know me as the co-founder of MCSR Ranked. So I found a passion for production and broadcast design around 5 years ago in the speedrunning scene. And so EG brought me on to help bring the broadcast for Gridlock to life. Yeah, you might have seen me for the MCSR Ranked playoffs, or I did some of the production for mid-offs just yesterday. So yeah, I'm excited to work on this.
And I'm Chris Diapollonio. I'm the CEO at Evil Geniuses. We've been powering the stage all weekend and are excited to bring esports and competitive entertainment to Minecraft, specifically to Gridlock. I know there's a great community here. I got started playing Minecraft maybe like 7 years ago with my niece. She got me into it. And then I started playing with my boys a lot more recently. And it's just been awesome to be out here, be a part of the community this weekend, especially. You guys out here are incredible. The fandom, the passion is immense. And it's been a wonderful place for us to be. A lot of the support and financial backing for this has come through Evil Geniuses, and we're excited to bring it to life. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Yeah, for any of you who don't know what Gridlock is, we prepared a video to really show you what it's all about. Well, that's good. Oh, I'm not narrating that. That's not happening.
We are missing some audio.
Maybe I will have to narrate it. Whoa, that's like really... I spoke this too. I don't remember speaking that fast. 300 custom objectives. Whoa! Look at that map.
It's beautiful.
I thought that was our audio for a second. I was like, oh, it's back.
Yeah, there's a tons of objectives, so many things to see here.
Whoa, that's cool.
Qualifiers in July.
The big text I can do. The small text that's not happening. Hey, look, that's me playing. $5,000 every month in the last 3 months. Holy smokes. That's cool.
$15,000 total grand prize. Every
There you
game is streamed live on Twitch with live commentary from our casters across both regions. Drop in, complete objectives, lock your opponents out to win big. This is Gridlock.
I think we're going to show it again. Because do you guys want to see it again? All right. We'll show you it again. This is Gridlock.
That's my desktop background.
It's a nice desktop. Hey, that looks familiar.
Yeah,
Really
I
familiar.
wonder what that is.
Weird.
really.
Introducing Gridlock, a new collaboration between Curryway and Evil Geniuses. We set out to create Minecraft's next big esport, open to all and new and exciting for our players to try out. And the result was Gridlock. At its simplest, it's 2v2 lockout bingo against a bingo board generated from our pool of over 300 custom objectives. You'll work with your partner to complete as many objectives as you can on our custom 1,000 by 1,000 block survival island. While battling fierce opponents, we'll be trying to snipe your objectives and sabotage you every step of the way. Whether you decide to capture as many objectives as you can to double your points by forming grid lines, or you strategize and plan to conquer the mighty quest objectives, there's a playstyle for everyone. Anyone can take part, with the open qualifiers beginning in July for everyone across the world to battle their way into the next round. But only the best of the best will make it into the bracket stage to fight for a prestigious place in the circuit, where $5,000 of total prize money is up for grabs every month. All this culminates in the grand final in December, where the 4 strongest teams from each region are pitted against each other across 2 weekends to fight for a share of the $15,000 total grand prize. Every game is streamed live on Twitch with live commentary from our casters across both regions. Drop in, complete objectives, lock your opponents out to win big. This is Gridlock.
Woo. There we go. That was awesome. Thank you, Past Me. So why did I start Gridlock is something that I feel like I get asked a lot and people might be curious about in the audience. And I love esports. That was basically the #1 thing. Before I was a Minecraft streamer, I actually worked in esports. I was a designer in esports. I've always loved the competition. I've loved the competitive scene of so many things. And something that I've always preached when I speedrun Minecraft is accessibility, accessibility, accessibility. And as much as I love MC Star Ranked, and as much as I love speedrunning, and as much as I love everything that version of Minecraft esports has to offer, the accessibility of playing on an old version is something that I had thought about a lot. So I wanted to try and create something that is more familiar to people who don't just speedrun or play other versions of Minecraft, whether you're a builder, a redstoner, a hardcore player, anything of the sort. You have strengths through your gameplay that can work in Gridlock. And that was something that was really important to me coming up with objectives, which we'll talk about later. And also, of course, being able to play on a version that is more new. Gridlock is going to be played in 1.21.11, I believe, Jake? Yes, so it's going to be 1.21.11, so a very new, recent version. That's what the map was made on. And there's so many elements of the game that I've been able to explore so much more about that I'm not used to in speedrunning because of being on a later version. So, I mean, even things like just terrain and the blocks like copper, the structures, trial chambers, deep dark, as on cue with the Warden, I guess. That's awesome. But I mean, yeah, that was a lot of things that I was really, really passionate about. And I had talked to a lot of people in the community, in the scene of what's the best way to bridge that gap? Event players, survival players, what's the best way to bridge this gap? And the common answer was something related to a lockout, a bingo type game. And the result was Gridlock. And I was really excited about it because around the same time, I got an email from a pretty cool esports organization that was ready to do a lot to kind of help me with this vision. And I'm really excited to hand it over to Chris to talk more about Evil Geniuses and how they're able to help with Gridlock.
Yeah, as an esports organization, we compete in a lot of different titles, but we also have creators, and we wanted to. I love the Minecraft community, wanted to get involved with it. We wanted to find the right person who felt like they were a great fit for our organization, and Corway and his passion and ambition were just resonated so much with us. And then when he talked about accessibility, the alignment between our values and our beliefs, that we believe anyone can be a gamer. It doesn't matter where you're from, who you are, what your background is. Like, if you want to be a pro, if you want to be a part of the community, like, you should have that opportunity. And we want to make things accessible. And so when we looked at, everything you're doing around that, the way what you preach and like what you want to make come to life, we were like, this is this bold plan with a passionate leader that we can make into something really, really special. And so we've been able to come together, kind of bring all of our strengths and all this crazy team that we have, and everybody who's been behind the scenes working on this, to really create something super special that I think the fans are going to love. We're going to have some new EG people who are going to be kind of like seeing this. We're going to have the Minecraft community understanding who EG is and why we're here, and what we can bring to the table. Overall, like, it just felt like a special piece, and it also resonated with a lot of different competitive archetypes, right? You have your people who are speedrunners, PvPers, creatives who might just want to be a part of it. That, like, there's something for everybody here.
100%.
Yeah. So a big part about Gridlock early on is we kind of decided we needed a custom map. So this was a big decision, and there you go. You see some preliminary sketches here from one of our talented artists, Gega. But why a map in Gridlock? And I get this question so often, even here at TwitchCon, I've been asked this probably, 4 or 5 times now. And the big thing about a custom map and really in general for Bingo is that Bingo is already a very random chance type game. You start off, your board can be completely different. Everything can be completely up to chance. And if you have both the board and the map be very, very random, it's really hard to get a really consistent variable in the competition. And that's kind of where the idea of a custom map came in. And so, we, of course, drew up a map that had all the biomes in it, had all the structures in it, and that, led to us coming up with a few of our own custom structures. So there was our mineshaft ravine, which we came up with. We have a lot of cool vanilla plus structures, which I think we'll get into in a little bit. But yeah, it was a big decision, and once we sent it over to the builders, we got a pretty awesome map to show you, and voila, there it is.
I remember when we first got this, Jake, and we were like, this is so good. Like, it was like we got this render, and we were like, yes, this is perfect.
It was a long process to get it finished. A lot of revisions going back and forth with the entire team, but it turned out really well.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of things to consider when building a map, especially for an event that we want to be really, really, really competitive. So the strategies that we had to think about for something like this was immense. We could see here, I actually haven't even seen this. This is awesome. You're going to start off, and you're going to have 2 minutes to look at a bingo board and pick the location on the map you want to spawn in with your teammate. Be able to strategize here, really looking at the board and thinking about how you want to route your line to utilize your best, strategies to win the game. The way that spawning in works is once you pick your location here, you're going to spawn in on a happy gas, which is one of the things in recent versions that as a speedrunner, I don't get to see that often. So I'm very happy. That was like, I think it was like, correct me if I'm wrong, it was like day 1. I was like, I want happy gas. Yeah, we're riding in on happy gas. Like, it's going to be awesome.
So cool.
It's our own like mini thing to do that. And then you're going to glide down with an elytra. It's going to be awesome. And you're also going to get a firework, which is really cool. So you can immediately just blast your way as far as you want to go. Something that's really cool about the fireworks as well is you can utilize the elytra to then go in a cave and then like firework in the cave and fly around to go exactly where you want to go. So you can go from like gassed to trial chamber in like 10 seconds. Like, it's
Yeah.
actually crazy.
There's literally a route down to the deep dark. I don't want to leak too much, but yeah, if you get the right alignment, you can actually go into some of these super cool areas. Yeah, it's so awesome.
It's really cool. You can see a little bit more of the map here. Some locations that are really, really impactful early on as drop locations. Obviously, shipwrecks, they're super useful in speedrunning. You get a lot of iron. That is impactful. This area of the map, this is one of my favorite areas because there are so many little cave entrances here. There's also something we focused on with strategies as well, and just with the map in general. We wanted caving to be really powerful. You could see a big cave entrance there, but we don't want people to get bogged down in a cave and not be able to come back up. So we created bubble columns basically all throughout the map where throughout the cave, you can just hop in one of those, immediately shoot back up to the surface, depending on what biome you're in, get any more objectives that you need. And a lot of the map design was really just about finding a line that makes sense for people. And of course, the Nether is custom too. I love the basalt biome, the structure, the peaks of it, like the stalagmites, stalactites are really cool. The portals connect in the Nether, which is awesome. And as a speedrunner, I really tried to make it as complete as possible. And as a speedrunner also, this is not something I'm used to. We have custom structures in the end. We have 3 islands where you can get a bunch of loot from. You can get elytras here. The end dimension also opens up with 5 minutes left to go in the game, which is really cool. I mean, Kelton, what am I missing here? There's so much cool stuff on the map.
Yeah, really. Actually, the bastions were a big one. Actually, I remember Kuriwe, being the awesome speedrunner he is, it took me through the bastions, and he was telling me how he really wanted them to be similar to vanilla, right? He wanted, the route.
And then we made them not similar to vanilla at all.
Not at all. And I remember he took me through like 4 hours, and he was just like running me through the bastions, honestly giving me a master class. And I can say, safely, I'm definitely like a pro speedrunner.
You are not even close to a pro speedrunner. Jake, I think there's one more slide that shows more structures, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And this is really cool. Oh, hi.
Oh, maybe not then.
Hey, we're Gridlock.
Maybe not. That's okay.
Wait, no.
You're going backwards.
No, I'm going forwards.
Oh. Boom, there it is.
we go.
So look at that mansion there. The mansion's one of my favorite custom structures because it was the only structure I think that we had to make smaller.
Yeah.
Which it was a really unique thing. I mean, you could see the Desert Temple is huge.
But
There's like 45 TNT in the Desert
In the
Temple.
mansion, it's so funny. We actually added a little room because, and we modeled it after the Minecraft movie. So I'm sure you guys all remember the chicken jockey scene. And one of the objectives in the game requires you to spyglass a chicken jockey. And of course, we didn't want it to be, you're running around the map for like 20 minutes trying to find this mob. So we put them in cages down there, and so you can go find the chicken jockey underneath the mansion. There's a lot of cool little features we've put in through the map, and we can't wait for you guys to find them and see them.
One of the pillager outposts that we're seeing now is one of my favorite structures just because we really it wasn't that we made the structure so much bigger, we just made the area around it feel so much more lively, which I think was really cool. And then villages, of course, they're actually probably the most similar structure to vanilla, obviously a little bit revamped. And the end portal, the stronghold is one of my favorite things because I remember, I think it was you that I was having this conversation with. I was like, the stronghold has 3 libraries. Like, normally they always have 2 libraries. Like, why do we have 3? And it's like, why not? And like,
why not?
exactly. I was like, okay, that makes sense. And I think something, I mean, this isn't even on one of my cards here, but one of the things that Jake and Kelton especially have really kind of changed my mind on is I really went into this as like, vanilla as possible. Let's make this cookie cutter. Let's really streamline this. And both of you have really opened my eyes to the possibilities that there are for pushing the game, pushing the limits, and still making it, friendly. Because we want people like me, who is obviously speedrunner biased, to still feel like their speedrunning experience helps them, but we really don't want to give them that advantage. Like, we really have tried to balance this from any walk of Minecraft to feel like you can really do well. And from playtesting, I really feel like that's the case, and a large part of that is the structures. And Kelton, why don't you talk about the bastions, because that is like the biggest difference, I think.
Well, 100%. And I mean, like, say you're in a bastion when you're speedrunning, right? There's only one of you in there. And the big thing with Gridlock is, you could have up to 4 people in the bastions at a time, which could get really hectic if it was a vanilla generated bastion. So what we tried to do with the Gridlock bastions is we wanted to separate a lot of the gold from the loot and the chests, and we tried to stack the chests really heavily. But you could get situations where, you know, someone comes into the bastions, goes for, you know, piglin trades really early on, but then the chests are left unlooted because they're too occupied with that. So if you get there, you know, maybe 2 minutes later, you still have the opportunity to actually utilize that bastion. And, you know, there's other things we've added to, a lot of gold throughout the bastion. So we, of course, have like the big stash of gold that's, you know, in every bastion, but we also have hid other pieces of gold around the bastions so that if you get there way later, there's still going to be things for you to loot. You're still going to be able to use the bastions, still get your trades in. So we definitely have tried to just balance a lot of the structures, especially these ones around the 2v2 aspect. And I think that, you know, with speedrunners and, you know, really good routers, we can't wait to see how they route our bastions, how they break our bastions. It's gonna happen. Feinberg, looking at you if you're in the crowd. And
so much of our thought process and development was what would Feinberg reply with in the feedback channel, and I think the goal is just to get it as short as possible always, and I think we've done a pretty good job so far.
But never zero. It can't be zero.
Yeah,
Always
yeah.
have something to say.
Oh man.
All right. So with making such a huge event like this, it's obviously going to take a huge team. There's so many different aspects to consider for a game like this because it includes speedrunning elements, bingo elements, PvP, everything. So we put together a pretty extensive team. This doesn't even list everyone, but these are kind of the main members of the team. Obviously, if we had them all out here, this panel would be huge. We would not have time to talk to everyone. But yeah, some like notable shout outs here, like Pandir with the lead game developer, really put in a ton of work. Chezzer doing the live web development, and he's also helping a lot with the production side of things because we need some custom graphics and stuff like that. And Rokes was one of the guys who helped me a lot with speedrunning events. He is doing event operations for Gridlock, helping come up with rules, think about all of the what ifs. Like I know when we added him to the call for the first time, we were explaining the event to him. It's like, so what if someone tries to cheat like this? What if they try to cheat like this? Yeah. What if this happens? What do we do if a game crashes? Like,
Still going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of late night.
His job is to make the 30-page document about all the what ifs. So that was really, really useful. But yeah, dozens of people who put blood, sweat, and tears into this event and really made it what it was.
Yeah, and what's great is many of these people, when Corey brought me on, it was like, do you have people that can do like this and this? And I was like, well, I do. A lot of these people are people I have known and worked with for years, so some of them. So it's really cool to be able to kind of bring together this team and create this event with people I've already worked with. Because I'm doing development on the event, but also some of these people are much better developers than me, and I will very happily admit that. You know, Pandy has been carrying the game development because we've had a lot to do for development for this event. For those of you who do not know, Gridlock has over 300 objectives. This is just a bit of our spreadsheet just going down the whole list. And every objective has a name, description, which, you know, the game designer...
We locked in. We gridlocked in on that. We actually, it was crazy. I remember spending calls with you, me, Scully.
Like 5 hours.
And it would just be like, what's the first thing that comes to our head? It's like, oh, like, I'm trying to think of one of them. We have, I think my favorite is the hydraulic press.
Oh yeah, the crush a baby chicken with an anvil.
Crush a baby chicken with an anvil, because like, why not? Like you could just do that.
I prefer the dripstone a baby sniffer myself.
All right, we're talking a lot about just killing the baby moms, but like, there's some good ones too. I actually like VIP treatment. That was a good one that I just saw scroll past.
Your tightrope one, that was
the tightrope one was
That
awesome, which is you have to be 50 blocks above lava and walk on a chain. Because, like, it's just silly. Like,
yeah, and you also have to hold a spear. That's also part of that.
Oh, and you have to hold
it.
Sorry, Kelton and I are hijacking your segment.
No. You have more to say on this than I do. But every objective needed a name description. Some of them have notes, as you can see on the right.
You guys asked the community for any of these? Did we like source any of these from community?
No, because we didn't want to make it public yet. But we have taken suggestions from people now that the list is public. Because they've been like, this is better than this. And we're like, actually, you're right.
We have made some changes since it became.
Yeah, and there's always going to be room for more objectives. So
yeah, but even with the ones we do have, over 300, they all needed an icon. They all needed they all also needed to be coded in to the game. So that's been a big task. You can see this is me going through the full menu of every single objective. Obviously, when you load in, you're given a board of like randomly selected 25 objectives, but they all had to be coded in. Even if you only see 25 in a game, there are still 300 more. And some of them, some like these crafting ones, they're more simple to code because it's this. We can reuse a lot of code and just swap in materials. But then some of them, especially the more complicated, when we get to like the quest objectives as well, can get really complicated to code. And we're always having to make changes. We built a really good system for changing out descriptions and names whenever like we realize that something needs to be made more clear during testing. If a tester doesn't understand an objective fully, we go through and we add a note in that will then show in the menu. So that way we're always refining it and making it so everyone is more clear on exactly what is what the objective is. But it hasn't just been the objectives. Gridlock is a fast game. Each round is 30 minutes long. But in 30 minutes, you need to be able to do something. You need to go to the end. You need to do like a bunch of like what's like something really hard you have to do in 30 minutes.
Really
like,
hard? Oh, in 30 minutes?
Yeah, like what's like a really like you have to like wait for like a sniffer egg to hatch.
A sniffer,
like,
yeah, sniffer egg would be like impossible normally. That would be impossible.
Exactly. So what we did is the game design team, as much as we hated them for it, would come to us every day with a new thing that they needed changed in the base game.
Jake loves me.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's been great. But stuff like shortening things like sniffer egg hatching to 3 minutes, changing spawn rates, changing loot tables for various mobs. Like if we got drowned, we'll always drop tridents. Zombies always have to break doors. Raids were shortened, so it's a lot of stuff like that. Pandia, our lead game developer, has been the most focused on doing that, and some of these things are simple, some of them are just like a one-line thing in the plugin. Some of them we have to go in and change the server software, the source code, to let some of these things that are natural in the game happen. So it's been a long process, and I'm sure when we get back from TwitchCon, we're gonna go back to testing, and there'll be more things.
I was gonna say, if I checked my phone right now, I guarantee you I have an @ping from Pandir @game designer. What do you need me to do for this?
Yeah, it's at least 6 a day. Yeah.
The list is always growing, but we want to make the game as fun as possible. We don't want people sat there for half of their game waiting for a sniffer egg to hatch, for example.
Oh, exactly, yeah. Nobody wants to wait around, especially when you have 30 minutes to do all these objectives. You should be getting to one of them and just getting through it, You shouldn't be waiting on, a sniffer egg to hatch or whatever. We try to speed up the process as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense. As you saw before, not all of our amazing community members could actually make it today.
Sky. I'm the creative lead for Gridlock.
I started early.
I'm sad not to be with you all at TwitchCon. I'm super excited to be part of this panel. My role as creative lead is to oversee how our players experience Gridlock, from the textures to the sound design and voice lines, all the way down to the underlying systems powering our custom UI. When we were first developing Gridlock, the branding was a very important part of the process for us. Alongside Corey and our development team, our aim was to create an adaptable and distinctive system of colours, shapes and iconography, and through a lot of trial and error, we ended up where we are today. We've really come a long way. Originally the logo looked a little more... yeah. Behind the scenes, I've also spent a lot of time working on adapting our branding to feel at home in the pixelated world of Minecraft. Making Gridlock feel cohesive and grounded for everyone who interacts with it was a priority, and I'm really pleased with the outcome. When Jake first came to me with a proposal to make individual icons for over 300 objectives, as you can imagine, I was pretty terrified. 300 textures is a lot to manage, plus each one needed 3 separate variations, and the bigger the pack, the longer it takes for our players to load it. So we've developed our own custom texture pack compiler called Grindstone, which allows us to manipulate and modify textures automatically before you see them in game. This has allowed me and the rest of the team to get content ready for testing so much faster, and for me to focus on some other cool parts of my job, like working on social content, designing sound effects, and, in particular, working on our voice lines. Yep, with the help of our amazing community of voice actors, Gridlock will be available in 17 languages on release, all configurable with the click of a single button in-game, and we're looking to expand this number next season too. It's been so fun to work alongside such an incredible team on this project, as well as to get to know the amazing community that's grown around Gridlock. Now back to Corey Way to talk about our custom bingo board. Bye!
Thank you so much, Sky. Sorry, I didn't get to actually introduce you, but I'm gonna blame Jake because I blame Jake for everything anyway, so it's totally fine.
I do want to highlight before the bingo board. We had the voice actors. We have a bunch of voice actors.
So many voice actors. So many are here too.
So many are here.
Billy's here.
Yeah, I think my favorite one though, which I've shown everyone, they always laugh, is we have Pyrocythe doing English pirates.
I haven't even listened to it. I cannot wait till I listen to it.
They're really good. They're really, really
It's going to be awesome. So, yeah, I mean, and that also goes back to accessibility that we talked about before. Like, we want people to enjoy Gridlock as much as possible. But yeah, as Sky said, the bingo board is a huge, huge, huge thing. So, I mean, let's talk about the objectives here. We have 5. Kelton, I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Yeah.
There's 5 quest objectives.
Yeah.
There's 1 opponent. There's 2 team.
Yeah.
And then I need to do the math backwards. So that's 8. So I think there's what, like 6 complex, 12 simple, something like that.
So close. 7 complex objectives, 10 simple objectives.
So close, so close. So, I mean, you could see how it kind of scales. And the goal with all of these quests are a little bit different, but we wanted people to be able to always be doing kind of something in the map. There's always something that you could possibly be doing. With opponent stuff, you also have the locator bar, which is another thing in recent versions that are just so cool to utilize, which is really cool. And the best thing with quest objectives is that we have them set up so that they're locked at the start and they unlock throughout the game. So at the start, even when you're like previewing your bingo board, you're not going to see what the quest objectives are. It gets unlocked in the chat just like that, and then you're able to try and do it. So it's really, really cool. Kill 2 different baby animals with a piercing. We have a lot of killing baby animals objectives.
Yeah. What were we?
Listen, it was some long nights in Discord calls, but it's what makes it challenging. It's what makes it challenging. It's really cool. That also obviously requires a piercing book as well. So the quest objectives are designed to be a lot harder as well. And that goes back to the strategies that are in the game that we talked about earlier with how do you want to play? Do you want to try and just focus on all the simple objectives? Do you want to gear up as much as you can before you go to quest objectives? There's a lot of things like that that are really important. And Kelton, one of those things that makes the gameplay really interesting on the bingo boards is grid lines.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, grid lines are probably my favorite feature in Gridlock. You know, not to toot my own horn, but I think they're a pretty big work of art. Honestly, they're a way to get back into the game or a way to take over the game over your opponents. And how they work is essentially, it's like tic-tac-toe, right? If you get all the objectives in a line, like you see here, that's in a diagonal grid line, but we also have, you know, horizontal and vertical as well. It puts a 2x multiplier on all of the objectives in that line. So say a line was worth like 11 points. If you got that full grid line completed, that would be a 22-point line. And the big thing with these grid lines is at first, you know, I was thinking they're probably going to be really niche. They're not going to be super utilized. But then with testing, it definitely has not been the case. Actually, recently in a test just couple weeks ago, I was playing. We were behind by 13 points with 6 minutes left in the game. And I remember me and my teammate, we had 1 objective left in our grid line. We had 4 objectives completed. And the last one was blow up your opponent with a TNT minecart. And so what we did is we flew down from our happy ghasts, used the tracker to locate our opponents, and I landed first. I dropped a bucket of water on them so they couldn't move, and then my teammate flew from behind and blew them up with the minecart, and we got 14 points from that grid line and actually won the game off of it. So if we can do that as 2 bottom frag anchors, I'm sure when I see the top speedrunners or top players in the game, you know, get these strategies on lock, it's gonna be really cool to see for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be TAS. It's gonna be awesome. This game is gonna be sick.
Real quick on, you've been talking about points. Maybe could you guys expand a little bit about like what that means?
Point. Yeah, and I'll let you do that.
Yeah, for sure. So in Gridlock, when just going back to what Curry was talking about with the different categories. Basically, each category is worth a different amount of points. And the reason we wanted to do that is since there's a set amount on each board, you can prioritize, you know, if you have a lot of easy objectives to complete, right? You can go for these easy objectives first, you know, get a lead over your opponents early. But the thing is that like, because grid lines and quest objectives and all these, you know, different ways of getting points are all different, it allows you to have strategy, right? And that's a big thing about, you know, any esport, right? Is you need to have a strategy when you're going into the game. I think that's what separates Gridlock from a lot of other Minecraft esports, especially, you know, with other bingo type events, is that you have to really strategize your route because everything is different. Everything is going to, you know, matter. Which lines you take, which routes you take, it's all going to be super important. So yeah, if off the top of my head, simple objectives are worth 1 point. Team and complex objectives are both worth 2, and then the opponent objectives worth 3. And in the quest objectives, the first 2 quest objectives are worth 3 points, the next 2 are worth 4, and the last is worth 5.
That sounds right to me.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
It's almost like we designed this game.
I know, it's weird.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the production that's going to go into Gridlock. So, I mean, everyone else here kind of has the advantage of having already developed like a lot of the game and everything like that. The production hasn't yet happened, so a lot of it is still kind of a work in progress. But I wanted to give a little bit of a history on my experience and my kind of, you know, bias coming into this. So one of my big projects that I worked on was MCSR ranked playoffs. And for anyone who's not familiar, this is ranked speedrunning. So it's very different to Gridlock because you're kind of always looking at 2 single-player objectives. But the goal is to create a broadcast experience with players on a server kind of being able to see all of the different POIs around the map, be able to see the fights, stuff like that. So that's kind of aspects of the broadcast that I wasn't super familiar coming into this. So one of the events that I worked on after playoffs was EGFFA. And this was kind of, you know, a stepping.
I'm blown away by whatever's happening on screen. I am gobsmacked.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is even happening? There's not even anything happening.
You're loving the chalice.
Like, core in the hop.
Yeah.
Like, oh, gas. Oh.
Okay.
Sorry.
So yeah, this was one of the first event I worked on with EG that kind of helped ease me into Gridlock because this was an event where we had thousands of people playing, 1,000 people playing at the same time. And so the idea is to kind of take the skills that I learned from those 2 events and transfer them over to Gridlock because it is a very different process. And the goal with Gridlock is to kind of build up Minecraft as an esport and have this be an event that everyone kind of understands and is able to follow along. And after hearing about all the bingo boards and the different objectives and everything, it's a very complex game. So that was one of my primary objectives, is how do we make the broadcast easy to understand? How do we include as much information as we can so people are following along what's going on, know who to root for, know what teams are still in it. So it's a big undertaking, but we're trying to kind of draw inspiration from the other events in the world, like, you know, MCC, Block Wars, Pandora's Box, like all of those type of things, I think do a great job at that. So I'm trying to mix those skills with the speedrunning ones that I'm bringing to the table. All right, and to actually do the broadcast with me, we have a lovely cast of casters. So I don't think we've talked about this yet, but we are going to have 2 different time zones.
Yes.
For the event, we're going to have an EU block where all of the EU players will play their games, and then we'll have an NA block. And so for the EU casters, we have Wade Box, who is actually, you'll be seeing him in just a couple hours commentating MCC, which will be very exciting. But Wade Box is super experienced with game design and running a lot of charity events, and so he really knows what he's doing. He also has a lot of production experience.
Very, very professional. He is by far the most professional person doing anything commentary-wise, because the other person underneath him, Fulham, who's over there, hi Fulham, you're not professional.
Hi, Fulham.
That's fine though.
No.
Love you.
Yeah, but Wade Box is able to give us a lot of great advice with, the professionality and how to cast an event like this and really make it feel like a real esport. And then, as you're saying, Curry, Fulham is a speedrunner, and he does the mid-match analysis for playoffs, and so he has a lot of experience with being able to explain complicated topics to a new audience, which is super important. And then for North America, we have Jojo Solos and N Emerald. So Jojo is, I mean, what can't she do? Like PvP, event player. She's also going to be commentating MCC in a bit. So just an all-rounder who really will bring a lot to this event. And N Emerald, who is a top-level speedrunner, and so really understands and really good at PvP as well. Like another guy who really knows it all and will be able to kind of give that top player insight on the decision making and speedrunning stuff. And then, of course, commentating both blocks will be Curryway.
Yeah, you're stuck with me.
Yeah, Curryway is going to be very, very tired. I don't even know how you're going to do it during the qualifier. It's like 8-hour block for EU into 8-hour block for NA. Like, you're going to be dead.
People said the same thing to me yesterday from me. I was like, I don't know how you're going to stand all day. Guess what? You find a way.
Yeah.
I can do this for an event that I'm helping make happen.
Yeah.
This is easy.
Mid also was a great warm-up.
Yeah, it was. And I want to highlight Emerald just because he has like basically no real casting experience before, to my knowledge.
He's the only one of the 5.
I specifically asked Emerald because he is so good at speedrunning and so good at lockout-based game modes, and was very interested in kind of he was very interested in Gridlock immediately went and announced just period as a player. And then I had talked to him more about what he wants to do within Minecraft and like the avenues he wants to go. And I think that his insight to being a top level player is so important. And I'm trying to model a lot off of esports or traditional sports. And I think his insight as someone who's literally at worst, what, a top 15 speedrunner in the world,
Yeah,
like at absolute worst, like is going to be so helpful for understanding Gridlock and being able to explain things.
Yeah.
He's also been helping test.
Yeah,
quite
and
a
it's
lot.
really nice to have a tester who's really, really, really good to break the game.
You've been getting carried in the testing.
Yes. But yeah, I know the next part is Chris. I really want you to talk more about EG and Minecraft and why, because I know a bit about this, but I'm also just excited to hear about it because it's always cool to see how much you guys have done for Gridlock already.
Yeah, it's kind of like somewhat surprising that an esports team is up here, right? I mean, you wouldn't maybe expect it, but for us, you know, we've been competing in games for over 27 years. We've won titles in a wide range of some of the most popular games out there. There's nothing more popular than Minecraft, in my opinion. And for us, like, we've really done a lot of community events, but we've never actually helped run a true league. And I think between all the insights our players have, our coaching staff, and what we're trying to build here, we felt like we could bring a lot to the table from player experience, being in tournaments, how they compete, the structure, a lot of the things you see and that maybe you don't see as fans, but like, you know, making sure things are buttoned up legally, that we're able to pay people, that we're able to, you know, support a prize pool.
Shout out the EG legal team.
Yeah.
They have been so awesome. They have been so awesome.
They've been doing some work.
Gosh.
You know, just making sure that we're setting this up properly so that it can be run not just this year really well, but many, many years beyond. And we can continue to iterate on this. We have a team behind the scenes from a marketing perspective, production, editing, graphics that's also supporting and helping in addition to the, you know, the Gridlock squad. And so I feel like EG, you know, we're bringing a lot from the back end to the table to make sure this comes to life and that we make it something that's accessible and open for competition. Like a lot of esports, right? There's franchises and maybe not everyone can compete. I love the aspect here that like you might get matched up against like a pro or somebody you know, but you might be better, right? Like, like this is, anyone can win this one. And I think that's what's really cool about it is we have the opportunity for people to play against some of the best in the world. And if you've got the drive, you have the passion, you might be the champ. And that is something that's very unique for Gridlock and something that I'm excited to see as we continue to go forward. You know, year one, I think it's about getting this right, learning a lot, figuring out where we can go. Year two and beyond, I mean, maybe some more regions, right?
Definitely.
Some larger prize pool. I'd love to do an in-person grand finals.
Yeah.
I think that is
That
the
would be
goal. Like we've
amazing.
seen yesterday with mid-offs, bringing something that's virtual to in-person. What you've been able to do today, earlier, I think that would be like the culmination of that. Maybe that's not next year, maybe that's down the road, but like that's where I want to bring this thing. Like a really true, we're doing a professional broadcast, we're doing a really professional experience, but how do we take it to that next level as we continue to learn and grow? I
think that's really important. I was going to mention that actually before you even said that, that this is just year one. Like this is really the trial run of all of this. It's really important to, you know, just see what's going to happen. Like there will absolutely be bumps in the road. There will absolutely be things that we need to work on, improve, etc. But we are really, really, really in this for the long haul, and that's what's exciting about it. Like I can't wait to think about what Gridlock can be in 5 years, knowing that what it already is now. So it's really cool. We are just getting to the Q&A section in a little bit, but before that, we have a couple other things to get to, which are exciting. Firstly, with some merch stuff, we are going to be doing merch for Gridlock in the future, so you can check out this link, merch.playgridlock.gg. There's nothing up there right now, but this is actually talking about things that we want to do right. We could have rushed merch or done anything like that. We want to take the time to do things right. We're really excited to eventually have merch for this, and it's probably going to, I don't want to give an exact date, but it will happen during the season, obviously. And we're really excited about it, so you can sign up there with an email and get notified when that's going to happen. And Jake, we have something else that's really cool that is going to open up pretty soon here.
Yeah, so open qualifiers start at the beginning of July, but signups are going to be opening in probably whenever I finish this sentence. Everyone's going to have a week to be able to sign up, join in with your duo, select your region, get in the Discord, get in for updates. We have our practice weekend, which takes place in 2 weeks on the 13th for EU and 14th for NA, which is really exciting. But signups are going to open right now. We're going to save it to the panel.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Right
do it.
now.
Right now.
Right now. Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bang!
The sign-ups are now open. They will be open for the next week at playgridlock.gg/sign up. They close on the 7th of June. You have time. Anyone here who's here for TwitchCon, you can get back home. There's no rush. But sign up, join in with your duo, and we're really excited to see how many people are getting ready to play Gridlock. It's going to be really awesome.
It's going to be so exciting. There's so many. I mean, I've heard of some teams that have already formed that I'm not going to leak here that are absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
But if you want a chance to play against quite literally some of the absolute best players in the world, sign up, and it's going to be awesome. I can't wait. It's going to be so cool. The practice weekend as well. Very much a practice weekend for us too. On the production angle,
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. It is very much a practice weekend for everyone involved to see how the format's going to go, and I can't wait for it. It's going to be amazing.
Absolutely.
We're going to be heading into a Q&A here. So if anyone has any questions, now is the time. So while we'll look for some people.
We're going to have people raise their hands, and we're going to have some staff members come by with microphones.
Yes. What I'm looking for is the staff. Okay, sweet. Yeah. So I see we can go with this person here in the front to start. Someone that I actually know quite well. So excited to...
Yes. Hello. Just as a fan, I want to ask this for the production. How many servers are going to be open during open applications and all that?
That's a phenomenal question, and I think that's a Jake question, I would say.
How many servers do we have?
Yeah, like what Polar's doing.
For the qualifier.
Yeah,
how's that? Because that's definitely our biggest expense.
It's absolutely the biggest expense. Every time we look at like how many people are coming to TwitchCon and we go to Chris and we're like, we may need a bit more money. We may need some more servers. I think we're looking about 4 big machines per region right now. If signups do go way past our expectations, we may have to go and buy a few more. So just be ready for that, Chris. just in case.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
We've definitely, Polar, our lead infrastructure, has sat down and done the maths with Wokes and Kelton and everyone else for many hours.
Yeah, it's been very hard because of it being an open qualifier. Like not even an open qualifier, an open sign up. We have no idea. We've prepared from 500 teams to 5,000 teams and beyond. And it's just really, we'll have a better idea now that signups are open in the next couple days of what we're working with. So excited to see what that's finally going to look like after months of guessing.
Exactly.
Awesome. Any other questions in the audience? I see a couple hands over here. Let's go with her in the front. I know your name. Hi, Rhubarb.
Hi. So I know that Draft Out and Gridlock were in communication during the development of both, but how do you think those things coexisting will work? And what do you think of the recent announcement of Lockout MC, which is also similar to both?
Yeah, I think I can take this one. Oliver, you can maybe follow up about some Draft Out stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't had the time because of TwitchCon to really look into the Lockout MC stuff, but it's definitely just cool in general that Lockout in general and that kind of game mode exists. I was actually talking to Small Ant at an after party yesterday, who was basically like the original kind of creator of like Lockout, especially within Minecraft, who I had originally talked about with Gridlock in general about like, hey, can I do this? And he's like, yeah, which was awesome. So shout out Small Ant, actually. He was just also excited that this bingo format in Minecraft is becoming kind of more popular again in general. And I've loved seeing so many people play Draft Out. For anyone who doesn't know what Draft Out is, it's basically a lockout version of ranked in recent versions where you kind of pick the objectives on your bingo board. And it's great. I'm good friends with the lead developer / creator of it, which is really cool. And I think it's awesome because, again, it's just accessibility. Like, Gridlock doesn't really have practice servers, so the ability for some people to do something that's at least somewhat similar to me is really cool. And the fact that it's something that was community-driven, community-made is awesome. And, I mean, personally, I love watching Draft Out streams and stuff. I think it's awesome. Oliver, you have anything else from that?
Yeah, no, you hit the main points. I mean, it's really tough to be able to practice for something like this because, as you mentioned, we don't have the practice servers. Draft Out is probably the closest you can get. There's still some limitations, like it's a 1v1 instead of a 2v2.
Yeah.
It doesn't have all the custom goals. So it's going to be a combination of playing stuff like Lockout and Draft Out, and then also a hefty amount of like VOD review. And so I'm really excited to see how people will be able to prepare and kind of use all of the available resources.
Yeah, just to add on to that, I think also from an Emerald, who is a top-level draft-out player as well, the caster, from him playtesting, he has said that it is very different. It's almost like a completely different game. So
Yeah.
don't feel like if you're not good at draft-out or anything that you're not going to be good at
It's one piece of the puzzle.
It's exactly. One piece of the puzzle is a good way to look
sure.
at it. Okay, any other questions in the audience here? Oh my god, so many more hands now. Whoa, we went from like 1 to 10. Oh, you're making my life hard now. Let's go with you in the front again, next to the person we did before. And we'll see what their question is.
Hello. I hope you guys are doing well. Well, I wanted to ask what the familiarity with like loot tables will be like. So say, because you have like a lot of really custom structures, say like a custom shipwreck, can you still expect what the loot will be like, or like will you have a BT chest and things like that?
That's a great question. So short answer, yes. Most of the things are very, very, very similar. Like shipwreck stuff, as your example, is very, very true. I think like we have like the 3 chests for a full shipwreck, the map chest, the iron chest, the food chest, that all exists. I think that there has been some tweaks, Kelton. I'm going to throw it to you in a second to talk about that. But yes, those things exist. And that loot table is random per game. So it is like, for example, the shipwreck chest with the iron, it is just the base shipwreck chest, and every game you play of Gridlock, that chest is the same loot table, but it will change the loot inside it every time.
Yeah, and actually there are some loot table modifications we've made. Piglin barters is the big one, I think, that is going to be on 1.16 instead of the most recent version. There's also adjustments we've made to like certain chests, like anytime you have like an armor trim, it's always going to spawn in the given chest that it would spawn in. So say you go into a jungle temple, you'll get the jungle temple armor trim 100% of the time. Suspicious sand and gravel, we've kind of completely remodified that loot table.
It's basically just like Sherd and Sniffer Egg.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a 50-50. So like there's just things that like we just cut out all of the variants for certain items, because you know you don't want to just get to a point and it's like you don't have the item show up in the chest, even though it's like a 70% chance. And we made sure that like the loot tables we needed to modify were modified, and I hope that answers your question.
Eliminating as much RNG as possible is the goal, while keeping it still fun and fresh every time you load into the game. Okay, questions. Hands up. Oh my goodness gracious. Wow. Let's go with back right person over there. And let's see what they have to say.
Hi, so I'm wondering, because I saw your listed for the credits for the graphic designer for the graphics. And so I just wanted to ask, like, how important was it to you to do that for this? And like what inspired the type of graphics we're seeing?
So, sorry, it's a little hard to hear you up here. Basically, what inspired the graphics and how we kind of came up with the branding?
Yeah, and
so,
yeah.
So first off, my background is as a designer. I could not keep my grubby hands away from what Sky was doing. I wanted to do as much with it as I possibly could, and Sky graciously allowed me to kind of help and tag along on the amazing stuff that she was working on. And we tried to model it. The whole theme of Gridlock, the map, the everything is kind of like vanilla plus. And that's not to say that vanilla is bad. Of course, I play vanilla Minecraft 10,000 times at this point. But I mean, I want it to feel fresh is more the thing. Vanilla freshified is kind of the goal. So it's still pixelated. We were locked in on making it pixelated. We wanted to have a clean inventory, a clean UI was very important. And again, going back to accessibility, especially with the UI elements, we wanted to make sure that everything could be very, very clear in the inventory, especially, you know, sometimes when you play events, and it's not a bad thing, but it's just they have a very specific branding, a specific style, and we didn't want to have that. We wanted it to feel like our specific style is Minecraft as the game. So a lot of the thought process was, how do we continue on the branding that has been made in Minecraft in general and kind of add our own little flair to it throughout what we've done is kind of the idea. And our color scheme, I mean, Jake, it was kind of just like, these are two colors that we like. A lock is kind of gold.
I think it was.
There was not that much. I mean, EG's blue, that was like pretty solid. Like the EG, like the blue was going to be solid in there. And then the gold was the lock, and it's just two colors that go together really well. So that just kind of worked. And I guess the locks do change color. For like our production Discord is purple. The circuit Discord, I think, is going to be green. Spoilers. But yeah, so it allows us to like kind of brand things color-coded as well, which is nice. So I had a blast doing it.
Well, one other thing I'll say with the design is, you know, we had our original branding done, and then Cheza, our web developer, came in and then designed the website, and he kind of came up with some other design choices when doing that still work with the brand guideline, but kind of redesigned it in a bit of a more kind of like a bit more of a modern way. So when me and Sky are working on the graphics for the panel, we have always kind of these I don't know what they like these kind of
the lines, the borders.
Lines are done like that. That was inspired from. So we design things, then other people design new things that we then bring back into the main design from the website and stuff. So it's cool. It's very collaborative as well.
And last thing on that, just from experience, I think another thing that was really important is the branding, is to not like shoehorn ourselves, like you're saying. Like the fact that we can add on to it without it feeling tacky was very important to us. So keeping it clean early on and then adding more elements to it, as we did more with web design and more going throughout the season, was really, really cool to do.
Yeah.
Raise your hands. Questions. Hello. Oh my goodness. Let's go with this person towards the front over here.
Obviously, you've got EU and NA as the only two regions, and that obviously doesn't cover the whole world. So, in terms of players in like APAC and that sort of thing, is there something you'd recommend to them to pick a certain region or like certain ping issues for them, sort of thing? What would you recommend in that sort of case?
So, great question, Jake. I'm probably going to throw this one to you because I'm not as familiar. I can talk on it a little bit, but mainly the main reason we can't do more servers right now is we just have to see how it works with 2. I think going to like 4 is eventually would be so sick, but we just kind of have to build the structure of it first.
This is just the start. Like, we're just
really
starting out.
So the first thing that people in APAC should do is ask us to apologize, and we are sorry. And then the second thing they should do is probably play EU. I mean, I know Australian people, it's probably 50-50 on like what side, like Oceania, what side you should go to. But I think the main goal is hopefully with the servers that we have, like the ping is definitely going to be a problem, but it's not going to be anything that's hopefully too detrimental because PvP is not really an overwhelming aspect. It's just going to be slightly annoying to play.
What I will also say is, before we actually get to the qualifiers, we are going to have a feature on our website which lets people go on and ping test our 2 regions. I'm sure Cheza is watching this, realizing that it's not done yet and that he still needs to do that. And then after the practice weekend, I believe we are letting people swap regions. If they play the practice weekend and realize that their ping just isn't good enough, they can then switch to either the EU or NA region, respectively.
Yeah. Also, just to add on to that as well, I'd also recommend, like, if you just want to play it, like, and you have a friend in in one of the regions, like EU or NA, just play with your friend, enjoy it. Obviously, to make the circuit, you're gonna have to be really, really talented. There's only gonna be 8 teams from each region, so if you're more so playing it for fun, which we also highly, highly, highly recommend, just playing it to enjoy the game for the open qualifier weekends, play with a friend that you have in a region and just enjoy it, and tell us about the lag, and we're gonna do everything we can to make it as best as possible going forward. More questions. We got about 4 minutes left, so maybe like 2 more questions. Let's go with this person towards the front on this side. I feel like I haven't gotten any questions. I haven't picked anyone from over here, so let's go over there.
Hello. I'm wondering, was the 2v2 format was that idea always the idea from the start, or did you have the vision of like doing bigger teams from the start and then logistics, didn't work out? Or would you want to do bigger teams or even a 1v1 version of Gridlock eventually?
So I can start this and I'll throw it to you, Kelton. I think in my head, it was always 2v2. I think there's a bunch of other esports that are 5v5, 3v3, whatever. I knew I just didn't want it to be solo because ranked is already solo, and I think ranked does good in the solo area, and I didn't want to like come and go on top of that. I think the main thing that I really wanted to focus on with Gridlock was teamwork, and I think the communication aspect of just 2 people I think can be really, really, really powerful. And I think it allows for the most clear comms, especially for our first season where, we want to try and switch in comms into the production and things like that. So having to be 2 people really clearly having their, their comms cleared throughout the 2 is important, because I don't think there's going to be like a quote-unquote shot call leader. I think it's going to be much more like communication that's equal between the 2 team members. So that was at least my thought process. Kelton, I don't know what you...
Yeah, I know for sure. And to just add on to that, like the strategy that you can have between 2 people, of course, just expands bingo out so much more because you're completing twice as many objectives, right? So especially, we talked about the grid lines, right? Like you can get a grid line done so much faster and try to get it done before your opponent can block you when you have 2 people, right? So you can plan out your routes. One person might be going to the jungle, one person might be going to the taiga, and then you can coordinate, from there, right? And I think just that in an esport, it's always great to have a, team communication, because it just gives that extra layer of competitiveness.
Absolutely. We have time for one more quick question. A quick question. Let's go with you in the middle. I feel like you've had your hand the entire time. Let's go with them. Yes. Yeah. And then we'll wrap it up here with this one.
Will it be possible for minors to sign up and actually win?
That is a good question that I am like almost sure of the answer of, but I'm going to throw it to Chris because that sounds like a legal question that I am not qualified to answer.
Yes, it is. Yes. I think we have 13 and up.
Yes, I believe that sounds correct.
13 up with parental consent. But yes, should be possible.
Amazing. And I think with that, we should probably wrap it there to make sure we don't go over time. I mean, it's been an amazing panel. Thank you all so much for coming. We really hope you're excited for Gridlock. I remember talking to all of everyone here about it. Like when I got my run here, I was more excited about the panel than my run because long term, I really, really believe in the future of esports in Minecraft, and I want to do everything in my power to make it happen. And I know these 4 people up here want to do that as well. So thank you so much all for coming out, and we really hope that you sign up for Gridlock. Jake, what's the website URL? I forget.
The website URL is playgrid.gg.
Oh, we have a final slide.
Of course.
Wait,
that's
so
everything.
awesome.
Think of everything. Playgridlock.gg/sign up. To sign up, open until the 7th of June.
Yeah, and that's amazing. So thank you so much. We hope to see you on the map that we still don't have a name for, and we'll figure out that at some point probably. But thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for being in the audience. We'll see you in Gridlock.